Eczema is one of the skin problems. It is sometimes called as dermatitis, and sometimes if it is chronic, then it is called as psoriasis. And all the words mean there is something problem in the skin. Actually, this problem is mainly because of the lack of hygienic conditions on the skin. There will be epithelial cells which will be dying every moment. These epithelial cells, when they die, they will form a scale-like appearance. This has to be removed now and then while taking bath, or we have to wash our body and remove these scales. Then it is the first thing that we can do and we can avoid, because these dead cells will give invitation to the bacteria and the fungus. When once these dead cells are subject to the invasion of the bacteria or the fungus, then they will not allow the further growth of inner layers, because they will depend upon the cells which are healthy inside these layers. Then the problem will shoot. There are two types of eczema, that is dry and wet eczema. The thing is, if the eczema is in the upper layer, that is only the epithelial cell, then it will occur like a white mildew-like dust over the skin. Usually, this problem will be increased during the winter. During the winter, the skin will become dry because of the change in atmosphere, cold atmosphere, and there will be less humidity, and there will be lesser humidity in the atmosphere. When the atmosphere is dry, then the skin cells will die. Then it is causing the layers on the skin. When the layers of dead cells are there, then again it will give a way to the bacteria and the fungus. In this case, especially in dry eczema, the infection will not be deep. It will be restricted only to the external layer, that is epithelial cells. These epithelial cells will die and are affected by that is fungus or the bacteria, and will cause itching. Wherever there is an infection of these bacteria or the fungus, they will cause itching. Because of the itching, there will be scratching. When the person scratches, again the dead cells will come out in the form of small flakes. That is the thing which we see in dry eczema. And also here, one more thing we have to count is the sebaceous glands, that is oil secreting glands that are present in the skin cells, will be inactive during the winter. That means they will secrete very less oil over the skin. That is why in the winter we will observe the skin as dry. Whereas in summer, the skin will be having a shiny appearance. During summer, these sebaceous glands secrete enormous oily substance. And also, the sweat glands will not secrete much during the winter. Because of the coldness, there is no need for the secretion of the sweat, because we will not sweat during the winter because of the cold that is already present. That is why these two also aid to the problem when the atmosphere is lacking the water content. That is, when the atmosphere becomes dry or less humid. And the wet eczema is one of the deep infection in case of if the dry eczema is not properly treated and the hygienic conditions are not properly maintained, it will go deep. The infection will go deep. The fungus will start killing the lower strata of the cells, the skin cells. Then there will be a deep infection. When there is a deep infection, it will cause the secretion of the plasma that is present in the cells, which will die. And also sometimes, if it goes deep, sometimes the blood will also ooze out. Then it will become very problematic, and even it will affect the subcutaneous layers. When the subcutaneous layers are affected, there will be a fall of hair and a fall of external layers of the skin, and we will observe the open wound which will ooze some the watery substance. That is why this wet eczema is also known as the weeping eczema, because the watery discharge will be observed in case of this wet eczema. That is why it is also called as weeping eczema. In both the cases, the skin is highly affected. If the eczema is in dry state, then it is always advisable, especially in the cold season, that is in the winter, we have to take oil bath. When we take the oil bath, our outer skin will be covered with the oily layer at least once in a week during the winter. If we take that precaution, our outer layer of the skin will be protected. And also, we should try to keep the skin wet. If the skin is kept wet, the incident of the further infection or the incident of fungus infection and bacterial infection will be reduced. When it is reduced, automatically the problem will. Mm. Yes. Is visible now? eczema pictures which will give you the clear picture how the dry eczema will be. And here we are giving you the images which are with skin is with dry eczema. And now we are here giving you the images of wet eczema, wherein we can understand how the wet eczema will be, and we can differentiate what is the dry eczema and what is wet eczema. Of course, the dandruff which occurs on the head, that is also a type of dry eczema only. There also we find the white flakes. And now the causes for the eczema. Of course, the most and the first important cause is the allergy. The allergy, where it is generated, homeopathy considers it as the allergy is first generated in the mind. That means the mind is the important thing where all the diseases will be generated. In the case of eczema or the skin problems or any ectodermal problem, mind, that is what we call Arishad Vargas, they are the important causes for the eczema, that is the dry eczema and also the wet eczema. Here we can quote a thing. The persons who are suffering from wet eczema will not be allowed into the church because they think the mind of that person who is suffering from wet eczema is not clear and it is not good. That is why he should come only after getting cleared his wet eczema. This is one of the examples that we can quote, that wherein the churches are restricted for the entry of the persons who are having this type of skin problems because their mind is like that only. Then there are 6 things which are known by us as the Arishad Vargas, that is Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Matsara. These are the things which will affect our mind and which will in turn affect our skin also. And also these are the things which will cause the sora, what we call in homeopathy the sora. It is nothing but the mind symptom. That is, the sora is the mind symptom. The sora person will be very active and very intelligent, but his mind will not be clear. The mind will not be clear. That is why the Arishad Vargas should be in the control of the person. If the Arishad Vargas are not in control of the person, then they will cause so many problems. Then atmosphere, of course, we have discussed the atmosphere changes, that is coldness, cold, dry weather, how it will affect the skin. In very rare cases, during summer also, the eczema will be aggravated. That means eczema will be increased. But usually it is always aggravated or increased during winter because of the dry atmosphere, dry wind. And the dry wind will cause the dry eczema, and if it is not cured or it is not properly treated, then it will be turning into wet eczema, which will become very chronic, and then it will be called psoriasis also. It is called psoriasis. And the eczema, there are so many types. They will select special places on our body. In some cases, they will choose the palms and the sole of the feet, and in some cases, it will be selecting the neck. In some cases, it will be selecting the arms. In some cases, it will be selecting the thighs and also inner organs of the body, and it will cause so many problems by giving the itching sensation, which will not allow the person to sleep quiet. Especially, usually, these problems will be aggravated mostly during night time. During night time, these things will be aggravated. These, whether it is dry eczema or the wet eczema. Then the foods, some of the foods which do not agree with our body will also cause these problems, such as the brinjal, the Bengal gram, and so many other things. Sometimes, in some cases, milk will also cause the aggravation, or it will cause the eczematic eruptions. And in some cases, the peanuts will cause the eruptions. And also, in so many vegetables which are not agreeable to a person, if they are taken, they will cause the eczema, whether it may be dry or wet. And also the chemicals, the cosmetics which are used for the decoration of the face and our body, they will also contain the chemicals which are the cosmetics are usually prepared by the chemicals. These chemicals will certainly affect the skin, and they will cause the eruptions, and also the soaps which are made of caustic, that means sodium hydroxide, they are made. These caustic substances will also cause the problems in the skin, and the chemicals, usually the chemicals which are used to wash the utensils and wash the things and wash or clean the bathroom and the toilet, they will also contain the chemicals, the acids and the caustics. Those will also cause this type of skin eruptions. And there are so many other factors also which may cause. It is allergy to the pollen, allergy to the dust, allergy to various chemical products which are coming out of a factory or a machine like that. Those will also cause so many problems or cause the eczema. They will become the causes for eczema. Then we know that the six Arishad Vargas, they are Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Matsara. These 6 things will cause so many problems. Not only the skin problems, these will cause the nervous problems also. They will affect the nervous system also. And the thinking of a person will be affected by these things. That is why these Arishad Vargas should be under control of the person. A person should not be under the control of the Arishad Vargas. It is a very important thing that we should be controlling these things. If we control these things, good number of nervous problems and also the skin problems will be avoided and they can be kept away. Then atmosphere, of course, we have already discussed how the atmosphere will cause the problem. In some cases, there will be a very sensitive person who will suffer with the skin problem during summer because of the sunburn. The sunburn, when the skin is subjected to high temperature of the sunlight, then the sunburn will take place. That sunburn will not heal up so easily and so fast, and then it will cause so many problems because that wound will invite the bacteria and the fungus, and they will cause further inflammation in the skin. Like that, atmosphere is a very important thing for the cause of this eczema. Then foods, of course, foods we have discussed. The foods like the things which do not agree with us will be causing the problem, like brinjal, potato, especially sweet potato, sometimes cheese, sometimes the other things like milk, the peanuts, and also so many other foods. They won't agree with us, which are the foods which do not agree with us. We should avoid them. We should completely avoid them. If we avoid those foods which are causing the problems, that will be looked after the non-occurrence of this skin problem. Of course, the cosmetics. The cosmetics, everyone, especially women, they will be using the cosmetics because it is not possible for them to live without the cosmetics. There are so many cosmetics which are having the chemicals, which are bleaching, which are having the bleaching effect. Some companies will advertise that if the person use these creams, his black skin will become white. That is, that will be having the bleaching chemicals. Those bleaching chemicals and other chemicals which are used in cosmetics, certainly they will cause some problem or the other on the skin. And such cosmetics have to be avoided. Even sometimes they may cause the permanent skin problems, and they will trouble after the occurrence of the skin problem. They will certainly trouble, and then the chemicals. Of course, we have discussed the chemicals which are used in the preparation of soaps and detergents. They will be affecting the hands, that is the skin of the palm, and also the skin which comes in contact with caustic soaps and detergents. Even the detergents also, they will be having these caustic substances. And the toilet cleaner and the bathroom cleaner, they will be containing the acids. If those acids are come in contact with the skin, they will also cause the problem in the skin. That is why we should avoid such chemicals to clean the cloths or the toilet or the bathroom or the tiles of the walls, etc. Only thing is, these will cause the skin problems when they come in contact with the skin. That is why these chemicals have to be avoided. Then others, there are some other causes like pollen and the dust, then the snow which is falling during winter, and also so many other things will be affecting the skin of different persons. It won't mean every person will be affected by this, but some of the persons will be certainly affected who are sensitive to those things. Who are sensitive to those things, they must avoid and they should keep away such things, and they should avoid the contact of such things. And if we avoid such things, then the problem will not be affected. The problem will not be got by the person. And there are treatments for eczema. In allopathy, there are medicines. There are antifungal and antibacterial medicine. Usually, the antifungal and antibacterial medicine, they will be used as an external application, used for external application most of the time. But sometimes they will be given inside. It is very dangerous. Of course, the application of the antifungal and antibacterial lotions or the cream is also not good, because the thing which is coming out of the skin will be suppressed and sent in. It will not be allowed to come out. Then the problem will shoot up. That is why mere suppressing the eczema by using external applications is not good. Whereas in Ayurveda also, there are so many remedies which can be used for the eczema. But in homeopathy, we consider the eczema as one of the things which is affected by the mind. If we can clearly understand the mind of the person, we can very well cure the eczema, whether it is dry eczema or the wet eczema or the psoriasis. Whatever may be the name that is given, it may be called the dermatitis or the eczema or the psoriasis. Whatever may be the name with which it is called, it can be cured with some medicines which are very much suited for the patient, and they will give a permanent relief. Of course, sometimes these medicines will be having the medicinal aggravation. That is, when the potency of medicine of the homeo medicine is not properly allotted, that is not properly adopted. If unnecessary higher potencies are adopted, sometimes they will cause the medicinal aggravation. Then we are having remedies to reduce those medicinal aggravations, and these medicinal aggravations will be of very short period, and it will be very quickly they can be removed, provided that the drug is neutralized. That is, homeo drug is neutralized automatically. The medicinal aggravation will be brought down. Then Ayurvedic, of course, Ayurvedic are having Ayurvedic medicines are there for external application and also for internal application. Then there are biochemic medicines which will also help us in curing or getting a relief from eczema. And also there are good number of homeopathy medicines which will give prompt relief to the eczema, whether it is a dry eczema or wet eczema, or it may be called as dermatitis or psoriasis. Whatever may be the name with which it is called, but we can cure with homeopathy. And Diet is also very important. We should avoid the things which will cause problem or aggravation in our skin. We should avoid. If we are not avoiding those things, then it is not possible for us to get a complete cure. Of course, tea and coffee has to be avoided. Tea and coffee, they will neutralize the homeo medicines which are prescribed. That is why tea and coffee has to be avoided. How many days? Good number of patients will ask for how many days we have to leave the tea and coffee. It is the habit that we are drinking the tea and coffee. They are not useful in our health, or they are not useful, or they are not helpful in any way to us. Only they are the mild beverages which will give the freshness to our mind. Many people will say it will give freshness to our mind. Even if you do not drink the coffee or tea, if you mind it and if you practice meditation and the yoga, certainly your mind will be active. You will not go for tea or coffee. That is why we should avoid such things. And there are cure for eczema in homeopathy. There are cure for eczema in homeopathy. Whatever the name may be, eczema, it may be dry, or it may be wet, or it may be called dermatitis, or it may be called psoriasis. All these skin problems can be cured with homeopathy. And we are having some case studies wherein we have treated the persons who are having the skin problem. One lady of about 45 years age, she got black skin eruption, and she was treated with all antifungal and antibacterial medicine, and she was also treated with the external applications, but there was no improvement, or there was no cure as such. But when she come to homeopathy, within 25 days, her blackish eruptions on her skin all over the body, they were removed. That means they disappeared, and she became very clean skin. She became very clean skin. It happened about 8 years back. Till today, she did not get any problem because she has not returned to us for any further treatment. It is understood that she has got a cure. And there was one person who was having the cracks on the palms and the soles. It was very difficult for him to work. He was a farmer, and it was very difficult for him to work and also to walk. The doctor told you have to wear the shoes and the gloves. But how can a farmer can wear the gloves and shoes when he is working in his field? Somehow he tried with us also, in spite of the problem that he faced, but he could not get any relief, and those things are not cured. And then when he comes to homeopathy, homeo medicines were given, and within 6 months, all the cracks, the bleeding cracks, the cracks were so deep, they were bleeding. The bleeding cracks on the palm and the sole, they were completely cured. They were completely cured, and he could work without the gloves and the shoes. And one boy who was having the all over his hand and his leg, the what we call the uh, exfoliated eruptions. And exfoliated eruptions are they are also called the they are also called the which was very much bad to look. But when he was treated with other medicines, that is allopathy and other system of medicine, he could not get any relief. But when he comes to homeopathy, within 20 days, all his exfoliated eruptions on his hand and the legs, they were disappeared, and just they did just like a washing. That means as if the things are washed away. The things are washed away. All the eruptions, they have gone. Like that, we are having good number of patients who have been tried with homeopathy and got the cures for them. And thus, the homeopathy is the best system of medicine to cure the eczema. But the thing is, the person or the patient should follow the dieting. If the patient is not following the dieting, then the cure is not so easy, or it will not so fast. If the patient follows the correct dieting and also he follows the regular pranayama and the meditation, certainly he will be devoid of any skin problem and he will be cured of the eczema, whether it is dry or wet, or the dermatitis, or the psoriasis, which are the same thing. They mean that there is problem in the skin, and we are presenting some testimonials which are cured by us or which are treated by us, and these testimonials will certainly provide us a proof or a support to our treatment, and we are very sure that these testimonials will create a confidence in the eczema patient, and they will be having a confidence of getting a cure for these skin problems. And these testimonials will be given in the book of the homeopathy, the cure in homeopathy, and thus we can have a cure for eczema, whether it is dry or wet. There are good medicines in homeopathy. There are so many medicines in homeopathy for eczema. We will discuss about those medicines in due course. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Uncle Atri.
Ah.